What's up, everybody? Quick recap from yesterday. Yesterday's games, NBA. Quick recap from the picks that we had to the player props. We can see that Porzingis, he cashed. Mark Williams did not. LaMelo Ball, DMP. Giannis. He did hit. He cashed. So we're gonna put cash beside it. Dame, I believe Dame did have 15, if I'm not mistaken. So he cashed, and Curry was a DMP. Donovan Mitchell did not cash. Allen did not get it. Bogey cashed majorly. Bogey was a good pick yesterday. He had like 18 points, 20 points, or something like that. 8 for 8 on the, 8 for 8 field goals. Norman Powell did not play. He was on a minutes restriction. So we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3. So we went 4 for 4 yesterday. 4 for 4 on the day. It's not too bad, but the picks that I have for each game, the player props and alternate lines that will be covered. So first game, we're going to go to the Detroit Miami game. For that game, I just have Bam Adebayo for 15 points, 6 to 8 rebounds. And I'm going to show you each statistical analysis I have for the player. So first, Bam Adebayo, 15 points. His line at 17.5. I'm going to drop him down to 15. And I like this line because, for one, 92% versus Detroit. This could be like a slow cooker right here. In away games, though, he's 100%, 7 for 7. 23 out of 34 times this year. Every time he's gotten 12 points, he's cashed the next game. So 12, 12, 12, 12. And we're hoping for another cash here. 6 to 8 rebounds. I'm thinking, 8 for some value. Never went more than 2 games this season without getting 8 rebounds. It's another one, that's something nice to look at. 8 rebounds probably would be the solidified play. Maybe Bam for 10 on a parlay. Dallas, Indiana. I couldn't find any player props for that one. Philly versus OKC. I took the Philly spread plus 12. I got Grimes at 2 threes. That should be self-explanatory. That's easy. Sorry if some of these plays are, not really great value, but I am thinking Grimes for 2 threes. His line's at 4, and he went crazy last game. So 2 threes should be pretty easy. He's cashed his line in 21 out of 30 games he played, and his usage is way up this last 5 games. His usage is at 30 plus, and his minutes are at 30 plus minutes. So he should get 2 threes. And for this game also, we had CHET HOLOGRAM for 15 points. His line is at 20. And the reason why I do like him for 15 is because, for one, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is out. So without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, let's see, CHET HOLOGRAM, he got 22 last time without him. And we're going to look at his minutes at 15, 14 minutes. Usage at around 14, 15. And at home, versus East. 3 for 4 versus East without Gilgeous-Alexander. One of these games is to Philly last year. And then we have, let's see, he's doing pretty good, man. Without him, he plays good. You know, he has went 4 games without getting 15 at home. So I'm thinking without Chet, without all of those players, I mean, not without Chet, without Gilgis, Alexander, and Williams, you know, and then Hartenstein even potentially being out, I think Holgram can get 15 points. Moving on to the Minnesota Pelicans game. Got Edwards for 20 points. Gobert for 8 rebounds. Pretty self-explanatory as well. We'll go over here. Edwards points, put that up to 20. And as you can see, he's very consistent at hitting 20 points at this line. Head to head, he's hit this line 9 out of 11 games versus the Pelicans. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, he has cashed over 20 points. You could take him up to 25 just to get some value. But yeah, his last 10 of 11 games on a Wednesday this season, he's went over 20 points. We're looking versus Western teams. He's cashed his line 37 out of 44 times. It's easy work for Edwards. It's a slow cooker, 5 a quarter. That's all he needs. Rudy Gobert, 8 rebounds, 6 to 8 rebounds. I'm liking Rudy Gobert for 8. Rudy Gobert for 8. Every time he's gotten 7 this season at home, he's cashed the next game, getting a lot. So 12, 7, 12, 7, 18. We're hoping for another 7, 8 plus rebound game. Moving on, Cleveland, Sacramento. For that game, I did take Cleveland money line. Donovan Mitchell, he did not cash his points yesterday. Bummer, but we not counting him out. I'm going right back to him. Donovan Mitchell, 20 points. I'm taking it again. And the reason why I am taking it again is because I am very solidified and confident that he is my favorite prop today. Coming off 2 tough L's, they don't want to lose anymore. Every time he's gotten 18, 19 plus, he's cashed in this game this season. Looking over here, second game of the season, 19. Played Washington, had 19 cashed in this game. Like I said, 19 cashed in this game. Right here, he did not, but his minutes were down that game, as you can see, so he did not cash. 19 cash. And in his last 20 games, he hasn't gone back to back where he went under 20 points in his last 20 games. And 7 for 7 versus Sacramento, versus this team, 100% 20 points. I'll take it. And what did we also have? We had Mobley for 6 rebounds. Oh, we also had Mitchell for over 3.5 threes made. Let me read. I can't even say it. I'm so excited about this prop today. Mitchell over 3.5 threes made. 71% head-to-head, hit this line 5 of 7 games. He's 50% on the year and 31 out of 62 games. And the reason why I am taking this is because he's never went more than 3 games. Let's see, where did I see that at? The reason why I am taking this is because, as you can see, his last 20 games, he hasn't went more than 3. Well, he did right here. Let me see. I might have to rethink this pick. I like how he's 3-4, so I maybe bump him down to 3 threes made. I think 3 threes made because 2, coming off of cash, 2, 1, 2, away, 61%, 2. Okay, so right here, we're taking him for 3 threes, matter of fact. So scratch the 3.5. Over 3 threes made. Yeah, so 2.5 actually, because every time away this season, when he had 2 threes the last game, he's gotten 3 the next. And I'm liking 3. That's easy. And so we got Mobley for 6 rebounds also as well for this game. If you want to parlay these together, I advise you to take some of these money lines and pair them with some of these points, put them down some. Now, Sacramento versus Mobley position is ranked first, but look at this, 14 last time he played them, and that was last year. He's been getting rebounds. And the reason why I do him like him for 6 to 8, or actually 6, is because he has not went back-to-back games this season without getting 6. So he actually did it one time this year, and his minutes were way down that game. I'm not really sure what happened that game, but his minutes were way down. I think he played less than 10 minutes in this game right here, where my marker is at, less than 10 minutes right here. 6 to 6 in last 6 games versus Sacramento. He hit this line in 50 out of his 60 games this season, so 6 rebounds from Mobley on a parlay is great. We went over New Orleans versus Minnesota. I do think I said Gobert 8 rebounds, I believe. Let me see. If I didn't, we can go back over. Rudy Gobert 8 rebounds. I can't remember if I did have him or not. Why can I not find him all of a sudden? What's going on, man? Rudy Gobert 8 rebounds. The reason why I do like this prop is because, oh yeah, I did go over this. Yep. Okay, so every time he has 7, yeah, okay, I went through that. Jesus Christ, I cannot talk today, man. I cannot talk. But all right, moving on to the next game. Okay, so we went over those games. We're moving on to the New York San Antonio game. Let's see. For that game, I had Chris Paul over 6.5 points. The reason why I took this line is because Chris Paul, without Wembanyama, has never went more than 2 games at home back-to-back this season without getting 7 points. He is 4 for 4 without Wembanyama, averages about 10 to 12 points versus the Knicks since 2021 to 2024. And if we look at on a Wednesday at home, he's 80%. You know, something about those Wednesdays. And then versus Eastern Conference teams, he's never went back-to-back games without getting more than 6.5 points. So this line has great value. Chris Paul over 6.5 points is a great prop today. I like it. Then we got some alternate lines. We got OG for 10 points. Just taking him just because without Brunson, you know, they've been doing well. OG, 10 points should be easy. Yep, every time he got 9, he went over. So 9 over, 9 over, 9 over. Looking for that next over for 10 plus for OG. We got Hart for 6 rebounds. Let's see why I took him. Josh Hart, 6 rebounds. He had 12 in his last 2 games, 12 one time this year versus them. No Wemby down there. He cashed 56 out of 64 games, getting 8 rebounds. And away games, he's hit 3 of 3 head-to-head, averaging 10 plus. 26 out of 32 games this year away. He's pretty good at rebounding. You know, without Brunson and all that, he got to play more. I did see something on Instagram saying they might have to start playing some of these main players less. So, who knows? But yeah, my favorite 2 props for that game would be New York money line and then Chris Paul over 6.5 points. Just to go back, recap, you know, Detroit at Miami. Miami money line. Bam, 15 points, 10 to 15, really, 6 to 8 rebounds. Dallas, Indiana money line. Philly at OKC, Philly spread plus 12 grounds, 2 threes. CHET HOLOGRAM, 15 points. Minnesota versus New Orleans. I took Minnesota money line. Edwards, 20 points. Gobert, 8 rebounds. Cleveland at Sacramento. Cleveland money line. Detroit, no. Cleveland money line. Donovan Mitchell, 20 points and 3 threes made, and Mobley 6 boards. Moving on to the Chicago Phoenix game. Chicago versus Phoenix for today. I just have Booker for 15 points and Durant for 20. And this is another self-explanatory game. Booker has been dominating Chicago in the past, so you could take him at 20. So Booker 15 to 20 points is something that I like. But Booker has cashed 15 points in his last 30 games. I don't see him going less. It's Devin Booker, Durant, 20 points. Reason why I took Durant for 20 points is because he has cashed this in every single game versus Chicago since 2021. He got 27 on February 22nd. Let's see. He's 49-56 on the season. He's never went back-to-back. So KD is a line that I love as well today. KD, I would most likely pair with anybody. I would pair KD with anybody on the board. Maybe KD for 20, Gobert 8 rebounds, Mobley 6 rebounds, Chris Paul points. Yeah, I would probably pair them together. So, yep, and then on to the last game that we'd have today. Denver at Lakers. Right now, I'm going to do a little bit more analysis on it later. But I'm going to end up dropping that analysis in the description. But for this game, we just have Dalton Connect over 8.5 points. He dropped 32 on Denver. I definitely plan on him getting more than 10, especially with LeBron out. LUKA not being fully healthy. We didn't take a lot of props in this game. LUKA for 20 points, and then Michael Porter Jr. for 10. I'm going to just show you those two, and that will be the end of this video. So, quick before we end it off, Michael Porter Jr., 10 points, 17 for 17. He hit this line in every single game versus the Lakers, and then we got LUKA for 20. Pretty easy, because LUKA is a monster. He's been going crazy this year. He's damn near hit this line in every single game he's played them as well. Only time he did not get 20 points was in 2021, long time ago. At home in his last 10, he's cashed. Those 14 games, his minutes were down. So he's going to play about over 30 minutes if he does play. And, yeah, playing over 30 minutes, cashed this every single game that he's played over 30 minutes versus Denver. I would take him over 20 today. So starting off here, I'm probably not going to look into the Houston-Orlando game too much. I'll get to that maybe later in the video, but, since there is so many games, I mainly want to cover the ones that, I see value in. I don't really do well with early games, so I'm going to stay away from that, like I said. So the first one, just outright, I would have, Dallas versus Pacers, playing at Indiana. Indiana money line, probably in the parlay. That's easy. Indiana's 20-9 at home. Dallas is 14-20 away. We checked the injuries out. Dallas is hurt badly, as we know. Dallas has had some injuries. On the Indiana side of things, Walker questionable, Siakam questionable, Halliburton questionable, Neesmith did not okay. So if Walker, Pascal, and Halliburton do not play, I do expect Dallas to give them a run for their money, But since Indiana does have to keep up with, the selections for the playoffs and all of that, then it's gonna be, it's gonna be like a tight game. But Indiana knows they have to pull away. Head to head, they're 7-3 versus Dallas in their last 10 games. The last played on November 4th last year. Pacers won 134 to 127. Dallas is on a 2-8, 10-game run. 2-8 in the last 10 games, 1-9 against the spread. Not really looking too good. Lost to Philly, lost to Houston, San Antonio. Yeah, they're not really looking too good. Pacers, on the other hand, 5-5 in the last 10. Minnesota, they beat them. Buzzer beater game. Milwaukee was a close game. They beat Philly. They beat Milwaukee. They lost to Chicago, lost to Atlanta twice. I'm thinking Indiana takes this game easy. I'm not going to look in too much to it. I'm not going to go into the data statistical analysis that I would have for them. So I'm not really going to look too much into that game. So Indiana money line for that one. As we go through, though, I will be writing down my picks as I go, just so it can be on the screen at least. So we're going Indiana money line for our first game, and that's Dallas at IND. So we're gonna go Indiana money line for the first game. I probably will eventually cover the Houston Orlando game, but we'll get to that in a second. Detroit versus Miami. Miami's 15-7 again at home. Detroit 20-15 away. Miami plus 156 plus money. Detroit minus 4.5. Miami is 7-3 in the last 10. The Detroit have won their last 2 games in overtime. That's Miami's sick, man. They definitely have something to, come back from. But Miami is 1-9. I'm just peeping this. They're 1-9 in the last 10. Something's gotta give, They lost to New York, Memphis, Boston, the Clippers, the Hornets. Something's gotta give. Detroit, on the other hand, has been a good team. They had a close game with the Thunder. They beat New Orleans yesterday by a lot. They've been looking good. They beat Portland. Golden State game was close. Clippers game was close. These games that they're losing are pretty close. So I would most likely have to take Miami's spread, just looking at it without looking at the injuries. But let me see. Detroit, no injuries. It's got Ivy out, Wiggins questionable, Burks questionable, and then Jovic is out, which he has been for a little minute now. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Miami spread alternated up a little bit, just throw it on a parlay or something like that, get some value on it at least. I got to look at the player props. I don't see too much, and I don't have any statistical analysis for this yet. So, Detroit, they've been a good team. They're 5-5 in the last 10, 5-4 against the spread. Miami's been a pretty bad team, but normally what I see is when teams are doing bad and they play in a team that is decent but also has been bad, that Miami does have a chance to win. It was close games. They won by 1 point, 2 points in each one of these games that they played. And Detroit was at home. The last time they played Miami at home in October, Miami did win outright. So I'm thinking Miami spread here, I'm going to write that one down as well. That was Indiana. Detroit at Miami. And I probably will just, edit some of this video and just get to the statistical analysis part. But yeah, right now we're just gonna give you my quick uncut, what I think for each game, just real quick. And then we're gonna get into the player analysis. I will cut it, I'm gonna cut some of this video up and I'm gonna put in the analysis to some of the games that I really like, that I'm really looking for. But right now, New York at San Antonio, easy game. New York money line. New York has to, they got to get right. San Antonio, they're just waiting for next season at this point. Fox and Wembanyama's out. Don't get me wrong, San Antonio is a good team. Let's look at the last 10. They're 4-6. They lost against the Lakers, beat the Pelicans. They lost against the Charlotte. They beat Dallas. They lost to Dallas again. I mean, they are a good team. Don't get me wrong, but I do think New York has a better system. They might not have, some players might be better than others, but I do think New York has the better staff, and they want to win versus San Antonio, who's just a team that's waiting, 13th in the West. They're just waiting for the season to be over with. New York, they got something to prove this year. Coming closer to playoff time, though, I do believe that they will start sitting these guys in the next week or so. So we're just going to start watching out for that. Just a quick, update on that type of stuff. But, last game, New York won at home, 117-114, a close game. I'm assuming Wembanyama was playing that game. New York, their last 10, they beat Miami. They lost to Golden State by 3, tough loss. Beat Portland, beat Sacramento. Yeah, these games that they lost, if we look at without Brunson, I'm sure he hasn't played the last 5. They've been doing good without Brunson, man. 4-5 in the last 5. They've been on a heater, so I probably would take New York money line in some sort of parlay. We're not gonna look too much into that game, like I said, because there is a lot of games today. So, yeah, I'll probably just do New York money line for that one. Yeah, don't really see too much. We look at the injuries here. Mitchell Robinson, I mean, he's a good player, but, Cat does it for him. They got OG, Josh Hart, Bridges, McBride. That's a good starting lineup for New York to dominate San Antonio. So, yeah, we're just going to look at their money line, man. On to the next game. Another quick self-explanatory game. Minnesota 20-15 at home. New Orleans 6-28 away. Obviously, Minnesota in front of their home crowd is going to take this one. No injuries. New Orleans is New Orleans, bottom of the barrel team here, 2024-2025 season. I would pretty much take Minnesota. Minnesota has been shaky as of late, but they're not as shaky as you think. They're 8-2 in their last 10. The only reason I say they have been shaky because the games that they're supposed to beat these teams by like a large margin have been very close. And I'm thinking with, Minnesota coming into some type of they want to get in the playoffs, and they want to win. I think Rudy Gobert, Randall, they start clicking even more to end this, final stretch of games. And it starts right here. They're 8-2 in their last 10, just coming off an L to Indiana. It's close game, tough game. They talked that out. I'm pretty sure they coming in, New Orleans 2-8 in the last 10, terrible. I'm pretty sure Minnesota takes this one, especially with Minnesota not having no injuries. So we're just gonna do New Orleans at Minnesota. We're doing Minnesota money line. All right, easy, simple as that. I will drop this Excel sheet in the video after. On to the next game. Another self-explanatory game. If we look at the injuries real quick, actually, I stand corrected. This is not a self-explanatory game. We will not be getting into this game too much. You might be able to find a quick little player prop in there with maybe CHET HOLOGRAM or somebody, or I don't know. I want to be too quick to jump on the OKC money line. I mean, they don't have. It says right here, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is listed out. Hartenstein is questionable. Wallace questionable. Dort out. Dieng out. Jalen Williams is out. These are the main players that they need. On Philadelphia's side of things, you have Basile questionable. Bona, this is just the game we got to look for, close to the game. This might be like a halftime, live bet type of game. Checking out the stats here. OKC 28-5 in the last 28-5 in the home games this year. Philadelphia 11-23. OKC 96.50 money line. To be honest, if I'm gonna be completely honest here, I want to take Philadelphia spread. I'll be risky with it, but head to head, look at this, man. That's an organization that knows how to beat this team. 3-7 though in their last 10 of recent games. They beat Dallas by 5. They lost to Indiana by 12. They lost to Toronto and Atlanta. They just coming off a tough L against Houston. And I don't know if you was watching, but that Houston game, it was very, very. They looked very decent in that Houston game. So if we're looking at this Philadelphia at OKC game, if Shea is out, man, I'm gonna have to take the Philadelphia spread. It's sitting at what? Plus 12. Yeah, I'm taking them plus 12. Just off of, a quick analysis of what I saw Philly do to Houston the other day. I think Quentin Grimes, we're probably looking at him. He'll probably have a good game. He's been averaging like over 30 every single game, so he might be a quick player we can put on there for 15, 20 points. Maybe see what his prop line is at. It's projected to go under, but those projections, they don't matter. Oklahoma's 9-1 in their last 10. Self-explanatory. They're a pretty good team. If you want to take Oklahoma City money line, you could, but I think Philadelphia can cover their spread today because they're 5-5 against the spread. They're 8-2 against the spread. OKC's 8-2. Philadelphia's 5-5 against the spread. 6-4 against the spread, head to head, win and loss 76ers. They did play January 14th, 2025, and I'm pretty sure OKC was, they did beat them. But that was with Gilgeous, Wallace, Dort, Williams. They was all playing. In these games, Caruso struggled 1 for 4. Isaiah Joe could have a big day today. I didn't see him on the injury list. So maybe Isaiah Joe could have a good game. Isaiah Joe and Quentin Grimes, we're going to look at those players and see what they can go, see what they got going on. But yeah, Philadelphia spread for sure. Washington, Utah, I'm not covering this game. I'm not looking into this game at all. Each of these teams have less than 10 wins, home and away, so terrible. I don't know. I have no clue about that game, so I'm just going to move on to the next one, Chicago versus Phoenix. Phoenix is 10-0 by playing Chicago in their last 10 games, man. Something's got to either change or Phoenix can continue doing what they're doing. Phoenix is 20-13 at home this year, 11th in the West. Chicago is 16-7 away this year, 9th in the East. Phoenix minus 240, spread minus 6.5, 6, just plus 6, minus 6. Phoenix in the last 10 games are 5-5. They beat Toronto and they lost to Los Angeles Lakers the last 2 games. Chicago, on the other hand, beat Utah and they lost to Houston in a tough game. They beat Brooklyn in a close game and Indiana. So I'm thinking Chicago could maybe cover a plus 10 spread in this game, which is easy, probably plus 8, alternated max. Yeah, man, for this game, just looking at this 10-0, I probably would fall for the trap. This could be a trap right here, But they're 4-5 in the last 4-5-1 in the last 10 and covering the spread against Chicago. I'm thinking they go 5-5, 10-1. I'm thinking Chicago might come out with this one. I've not watched Chicago play a lot, but for injury wise, Giddey is questionable. LaMelo Ball Lonzo Ball's out and DeSumo out for the season. Plumlee out. Grayson Allen out and Beal is out. That's gonna do something to the team. I'm thinking Kevin Herter, Buzelis, Vucevic, White. I think they turn up. KD and Booker, they gonna do what they do. But Gillespie and Dunn, Richards, they're not really getting it done for this team, man. So I'm thinking this game maybe do Chicago spread. Chicago at Phoenix, we're gonna take them +6. Or we could take the Phoenix money line based off history. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a tough game to predict, but on to the next, man. We don't want to spend too much time on some of these games because this will be a long video for a longer day. A longer slate, bigger slate, man. Let's get to it, man. Sacramento versus Cleveland. Cleveland coming off a loss yesterday, 26-7 away. Cleveland 17-15 at home. Sacramento was +166 at money line. Still a tough, close money line. Cleveland -5. In the last 10 games, Sacramento is 7-3. Head to head. Cleveland's last 10, they're 8-2. They're coming off 2 losses back to back, surprisingly, to Orlando and the Clippers. And Sacramento, they have been decent. They're coming off a win against Memphis. They lost to the Suns. They lost to Golden State. They lost to New York. They're playing some good teams, but it depends on the injuries. And Sabonis being out is huge for them. No Sabonis. We got to look at the player props for this game, but I'll probably take Cleveland money line in this one. Coming off 2 losses, the coaches is not going for that. So we going Cleveland. As Sacramento, I'm taking Cleveland money line for sure. Just based off of Sabonis being out. Sabonis did play against Memphis and just for a little bit, and they still won. But when Sabonis was out, man, they were not winning. And Cleveland coming off 2 losses straight, being top teams, in the NBA, solidifying a playoff spot. I think they, changed this up, man. Last time they played was February. Last time they played was last year. So Cleveland, I think they had, a day. This is their second day adjusting to the West Coast time frame. I'm thinking they can come in clutch, get that 27-7 away record, and, Sacramento going 17-16 at home. So, yeah, I'm taking either Cleveland -5 or their money line. Pretty much their money line. I'm going to take that one. On to the next game. This is a fun one right here. I will not cover the Memphis-Portland game. I don't cover Memphis a lot this season. We can go back to this Houston-Orlando game. There could be some good value in the props there. If it's a good defensive game for that, so they got a low total. But let's go over to this Denver-Laker game. First off, we're going to start with injuries. Gordon, probable. Jokic, questionable. If he does not play, that is tough. Questionable for Murray. Now, they did not play Murray or Jokic in the last game. Braun is questionable. Doncic, probable. Rui and James are out. Jameson is questionable. Last 10 games, Denver has fucked over these niggas. Lakers have never won. Denver's always beat Lakers the next game that they played them if they won the game before in the last 10 games. I know that sounds crazy, but Denver is 8-2 in the last 10 against the Lakers. Denver's last 10, they are 6-4. They're coming off a win against Golden State with no Murray or Jokic. That was a good win for them. Coming off a weird L against Washington. Hated that L. Lost some money on that one. Lakers, they beat the Lakers the last time they played them. 131 to 126. I'm pretty sure LeBron and LUKA and all them was playing. Lost to Minnesota. They beat OKC. Lakers been a pretty solid team, but they've been a little patchy. Still got stuff to work on. Lakers, however, getting dubs in the last 2 games against Phoenix and San Antonio. They lost to the Denver, as we've seen before. Lakers being 27 at home, that does give them an advantage. So you could take the plus money. You never know what could happen if Jokic and Murray is not playing. You can take this plus money right here. But looking at Denver, the 21-14 away, and their spread, -2. I won't really take no money lines for this game. So this game is like, we got to wait and see for this game. Just based off these injury report, if we get something, we get news that Jokic and Murray, they're not playing, then, this Lakers, plus money might be really something to look at. And that pretty much wraps it up on our analysis for today and the bets that I have and the picks. And that's it, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit me up on Instagram. My Instagram right now, before I make an Instagram for this channel, is Drippy Chan. If you want to hit me up on Instagram, you can do that. But yeah, this is what I have for today, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Do whatever you gotta do, man. Let's get this money today. Peace.